Good evening, Fort Worth. This is Mr. Popshit reporting live from the heart of Texas. And tonight we're diving deep into an important topic that's been creating quite a buzz. Florida's new alimony law. So if you're interested in family law, divorce proceedings, or just keeping up with the latest legal shifts, stick around because we have a lot to cover. Let's start with the basics. Alimony, also known as spousal support, is financial assistance that one spouse may be required to pay to the other after a divorce. Traditionally, the purpose of alimony has been to help the lower earning spouse maintain a similar standard of living to what they experienced during the marriage. But as of insert date, Florida has introduced a new law that significantly changes how alimony is calculated and awarded. So what exactly has changed? First off, Florida has introduced a formula for determining alimony payments. This means that instead of leaving it entirely up to the discretion of judges, there are now specific guidelines that aim to standardize the process. This shift is intended to bring predictability to what can be an unpredictable situation, particularly for those who are already facing the stress of a divorce. Now, let's break this down a little more. Under the new law, there is a presumption against permanent alimony. In the past, many lower earning spouses could expect ongoing support, sometimes for life, especially if they had sacrificed their career for homemaking or child rearing. The new framework encourages shorter term or rehabilitative alimony, aimed at helping individuals get back on their feet rather than relying on long-term financial support. This brings us to a real-life scenario. Imagine a couple. Let's call them John and Lisa. They've been married for 15 years. John is the primary breadwinner, while Lisa has dedicated her time to raising their two children and managing the household. Under the previous system, if they were to divorce, Lisa might have received permanent alimony to support her for life, given her long absence from the workforce. Now, with a new law in place, John might be required to pay rehabilitative alimony for a set period, let's say 3 years, while Lisa goes back to school to finish her degree and re-enter the job market. This might seem fair to some, as it encourages Lisa to become financially independent. However, what happens if Lisa faces challenges in finding a job, or if the training she pursues doesn't lead to a high-paying position? Here's where the debate really heats up. Supporters of the new law argue that it encourages personal responsibility and independence. They believe that people should work towards self-sufficiency rather than rely on alimony as a permanent crutch. This perspective is especially relevant in today's job market, where opportunities for training and education are more accessible than ever. On the flip side, critics voice serious concerns. They argue that this shift could disproportionately affect those who have dedicated years to raising children or supporting their spouse's career. They worry that the new system doesn't adequately account for the sacrifices made during the marriage, particularly for those who may not have the resources or support to transition back into the workforce. Take a moment to consider Mary, a stay-at-home mom for over a decade. With the new law, she might receive only a limited amount of support as she seeks employment. Critics argue that this could leave her vulnerable, especially if she has limited job skills or if her children are still young and require her full attention. So what does this mean for the future? Well, the impact of this new law will likely unfold over time. Families will need to navigate the complexities of these changes, and it could lead to more negotiations during divorce proceedings. Legal experts suggest that couples considering divorce should consult with attorneys who are well versed in the new law to understand their rights and obligations fully. In conclusion, Florida's new alimony law represents a significant shift in how spousal support is approached, aiming for a more standardized and fair system. But, as with any legal reform, it's essential to consider the real-life implications for families caught in the midst of divorce. As we continue to follow this development, I encourage our viewers to share their thoughts. How do you feel about these changes? Are they a step in the right direction, or do they miss the mark? Thank you for tuning in to this segment of Florida Focus. I'm Mr. Popshit, reporting live from Fort Worth, reminding you to stay informed and engaged. Until next time.
Turn up. Turn up. Hold up. It's my type of speed right here. Shit right here. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Long star nigga forever. Y'all entertainment. What the money made in the basement. Where I ain't gotta lock the streets down. This is pure entertainment. entertainment. I stand on it. This is entertainment.